We're going to start this video with a little game. I'm going to play two vocals, one of which has $500 worth of plugins on it. The other one has a vocal chain made completely from Logic Pro stock free plugins. I'm going to reveal the results at the end of the video, but for now, I want you to guess which is which.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this. And there's no turning back, this is our life. It's about damn time. Baby, this is alright.
Think you can tell? Comment down below. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Fabio from Noise. Welcome to Boombox, the home of collaboration. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to take a vocal from this.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside.
To this.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside.
I want to say a big thank you to Demi and his vocalist for letting us use this track, Liberate Me, which is fantastic. We're going to listen to a little bit more of it later, but I really appreciate them letting me use this track for our video. Now, like all my projects, I have to take this and save it and store it somewhere secure, which is why Boombox, which is made by musicians, for musicians, the perfect platform. Boombox is made for people like me and you, and that's because we don't just have the ability to store our files, but we can also receive timestamp feedback in the form of text or voice notes. Whenever I share a file, I can very easily change the access permissions, add songs to a great looking playlist, and send my even better looking artist profiles to other musicians who I'm able to connect with over the network page. So whether you're looking to store your files safely, share them and get feedback, or make yourself available for hire as a musician, vocalist, or engineer, Boombox has it all in one place. And you get 4 GB for free, so sign up today. Link is in the description below. Let's start by taking a listen to the vocal in context with the track.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
Now, not only do I like to listen to it in context, but I also like to listen to it soloed. Now, I do this whilst having a channel EQ open, and that's because I like to look at the analyzer and understand where the vocal's frequency content is. I'm not going to use the EQ or my eyes, the analyzer, to make decisions, but at least I have a guide as to where maybe some of the more dominant frequencies are sitting and where I may need to add some boosts or cuts and dynamic control.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
Now, the vocalist sings from lower notes to higher notes, so the frequencies or the dominant frequencies are always changing. I'm not sure which mic they use, but I can hear that it is a little bottom heavy, meaning there are quite a few low frequencies, which I actually think are masking some of the mid and high frequencies. And we can see that those are sitting in this area here between 200 to 400, especially in this section of the vocal.
Me, it sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
Now, without making too many critical decisions right now, I'm just going to bear that in mind as I move through the chain. The first Logic stock plugin that I'm going to use is the Multipressor. Not a lot of people use this, and that's because there are other options for paid plugins that are very popular, such as the FabFilter Pro Q3 or FabFilter Pro MB. But if you don't want to spend money on either of those plugins, this is a great free alternative. For those of you who aren't familiar with multiband compression, it's essentially multiple compressors in one, but those compressors are set to a particular frequency range. So for example, in this case, we have one compressor that's compressing the frequencies between 20 to 76, another from 76 to 610. The third compressor is going from 610 Hertz to 5000 Hertz, and then 5000 to 20,000 Hertz. So this allows me to control the dynamics or volume of a particular set of frequencies. In this case, I wanted to control the low mids and the mids as the singer changes notes and they need different dynamic control.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this. And there's no turning back, this is our life, it's about damn time.
Already with this multipressor, it sounds so much better and brighter. And that's because we're controlling some of those low frequencies in the low to mid range, which makes the frequencies higher up appear to sound louder. Now, after the multiband compressor, I'm using the Logic Platinum Digital Compressor, which is incredibly clean. I'm kind of using this as a limiter. So I've got a ratio of 12:1, attack at 0, release at 5 milliseconds, and then I'm just pulling the threshold down to catch some of the peaks.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
It's very subtle and very transparent. And the main reason for this compressor is because when I'm controlling the volume or dynamics with compression, I want it to sound as natural as possible. If you get one compressor to work really hard, this can sometimes sound like there's a lot of pumping, which doesn't make for the most natural performance. The third compressor in my chain is the Vintage Opto. Now this is a smoother sounding compressor. I've got a low ratio, which means that it's not dealing with the peaks of the signal, but more the average and the body. I've got a fast attack, but I've backed off a little bit, so I'm at 3 milliseconds here, and I've got a slow release of 690 milliseconds. Although on the Vintage Opto setting, 690 still feels relatively fast.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
What I'm going to do now is turn all the compressors on and off so you can hear how we've affected the dynamics.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this.
What dynamic control allows us to do is keep everything feeling really upfront and in your face. By controlling the louder volumes and bringing up the quieter volumes, we have a more sustained signal. Now that I control the dynamics, it's time to EQ. I've got a low cut here at 131 Hertz, a dip at 238, another dip at 615, and a final one at 1620. Now we already know from earlier on that between 200 and 300 Hertz, the vocal is a little heavy in terms of frequencies in this area. As for the other areas, I just felt that they're a bit resonant, but I'm going to boost these and cut these so you can hear exactly what I'm taking out.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this. And there's no turning back, this is our life, it's about damn time. Baby, this is alright.
So here we have the low frequencies in this middle one at 615. I'm taking out some of the room, and here at 1620, I'm taking out some of that harshness. Now, Logic does actually have a set of vintage EQs that are located here in the Vintage EQ collection. And one of my favorites is the Vintage Console EQ based off of the Neve 1073. This is great if you want to add a little bit of analog flavor to your signal. Using a vintage EQ rather than the regular channel EQ is different because this adds harmonics to the signal and can change the tone depending on the circuitry. Every analog EQ has slightly different circuitry, which affects the signal in different ways. Here I've added a low cut at 160 Hertz. I'm doing a low shelf cut at 220 to bring out some of that low end. I'm also doing a mid bell cut at 1.6, which is where we also had it on the channel EQ earlier, but I'm boosting the highs. Now this is from about 10-12K upwards to give some air and presence.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this.
The difference is subtle, but it does add a bit of magic to the signal. When I added those high frequencies on the console EQ, I did notice that the S's in the vocal were popping through a little bit too much and needed controlling. So I'm using the Logic DeEsser 2. These are pretty much the default settings. I've just reduced the reduction to a maximum of 3.5 dB. If you de-ess too much, it does actually sound like the singer's or the vocalist's teeth are missing, so be careful.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
You can hear where any T's or S's are coming through. It's reducing the volume of them. It works in the same way as the multipressor, but it's only focused on those high frequencies where that harshness is. Finally, I used one more channel EQ for a bit of shaping. So I took out more low frequencies with the low shelf, a little bit at 915 and a lot at 3000, where I found more harshness was building. I also did a boost at 1710 Hertz.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
And finally, I added a series of sends, which includes small, medium, long reverbs and delays.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free.
This helps add an element of space and add some rhythm with that echo. And if you're interested on learning more about those sends, I'm going to do a completely separate video on those sends. So make sure to like and subscribe. I also will link it up here once it's been released, because these effects deserve their own dedicated tutorial and can make a huge difference. So let's do an A/B of the vocal without the plugins and the sends, and then I'll re-add everything afterwards.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely.
And now the moment I know a lot of you have been waiting for. Let's take another listen to the vocal chain with over $500 worth of plugins on it and the Logic one that I just played to you.
I'm taking back what's mine. After the storm, there's light inside of me. It sets me free, illuminates indefinitely. Underneath the moonlight, it's so perfect. And I started thinking we deserve this. And there's no turning back, this is our life. It's about damn time.
Both sound really good. It's amazing to see what you can do with free plugins. So if you did comment down below in the beginning of the video, A was the Pro vocal chain and B was the one with the Logic stock plugins, which is also pro sounding. You can do so much with stock plugins as I've just shown you here. And we have loads of other videos on the Boombox channel that you've got to check out, which will show you how to get that pro sound without spending a dime. Don't forget to check out Boombox in the link in the description below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Welcome to Boombox, the home of collaboration. I'll see you very soon. Peace!